The next sci-fi character in our Cyberpunk 2077 build series is the popular stealthy, deadly hacker from Overwatch, Sombra. In the world of Cyberpunk, she'd be considered a Netrunner thief who prefers stealth. But when things get too hot, she relies on her submachinegun skills to take out her enemies. She's fast, invisible, and deadly. We'll dive into all of the attributes and perks you'll need to create this character. But before we get started, to make sure you get all of these Cyberpunk builds, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and upvote the video. And make sure you check out the full playlist. So let's get started. As you can see here, we have a character build. I'm now using, this is a new upgrade to these videos that I'm doing, the nukesdragons.com character build planner and calculator for Cyberpunk 2077. And I've built out a character here, the Sombra build. I will have links to this build and to the build planner for you guys to use in the notes underneath the video. So let's dig into this. The basic layout of this character is mostly intelligence, because truth be told, there isn't any perk that you don't really want. Most of Sombra's abilities have to do with being able to hack things at a distance, increase the speed of the hacks, and then maintain her stealthiness while doing so. And that includes both hacking systems, and that's the breach protocol section here, or quick hacking enemies in order to take them out or to reduce their effectiveness at a distance. And many of these abilities that you'll see in this list have things to do with increasing your speed at doing that. So she's very fast. So being fast at hacking and fast at moving and also more deadly are all things that make sense for her build. Some of these perks even stack with her critical values, and you're going to see how some of that connects to some of the other perks that we choose in the other ability trees. So for example, upgrades from Mass Vulnerability Daemon, causing enemies in the network to also take 30% more damage from quick hacks. So that's a damage increase. And then in the quick hacking section, we have things like critical error. Quick hacks can now deal crit hits based on your crit chance and crit damage stats. And I believe, and I haven't fully tested this out, but I believe that those things cross over with crit chance and crit damage stats from some of the other trees. So simply put, you're going to max out breach protocol and quick hacking and go with any of these things that make sense while you're leveling your character. Of course, when you get to max level, this will be a full 20 points. Now, the other thing that we're going to max out is reflexes. You think it would be cool as the first thing we're going for because of the stealth, but it turns out that there's actually more stats in reflexes, more of the perks in reflexes that we really want to go for, because these are things that are going to stack with her critical effects and also her use of her submachine gun, which is another trait of Sombra. So before we get into that, let's go over to cool, because that's actually a little bit more simple. You can still max this out by max level. You can still push cool all the way up to 20. And there are benefits to doing that because these things will become more effective over time. But a lot of the perks in stealth are split between being sneaky and using knives and doing poison damage. So the knives and poison damage part of this tree is not something that really applies to Sombra. We want to focus on the perks here that have to do with, again, moving more quickly, being more sneaky and silent, and being more deadly. So things like Crouching Tiger is movement speed increase while sneaking, silent, and deadly. These are some of the first ones you're going to get. And then as you continue to level up, you're going to move further and further to the outsides of this perk tree. But notice there's a lot of these that we don't really need. Now, you could upgrade these as well if you have extra perk points by the end of your leveling and you just want to go ahead and use them. There's no reason you can't do that, but these are the ones that I recommend the most. And again, you can look at this list by clicking the link underneath the video, or you can just pause the video and go one by one through each of these. So I'm not going to waste your time and name all of them. So now let's take a look at the reflexes, and the reflexes are, again, you can max this out. You can get this up to level 20. So the majority of these perks are based on machine guns, increasing damage, increasing crits, and then some of them at doing some damage at a distance, but that's not her main thing. The use of the submachine gun in a build like Sombra's for a Netrunner with some sort of backup is exactly that. It is a backup weapon. It is her go-to when the S hits the fan. In order to fall back on it. So she's not going to be picking people off from a distance. This is not a sniper build. For example, Nerves of Steel is not selected. This increases headshot damage with sniper rifles and precision rifles by 20%. We're not going that route. We're going submachine guns when she absolutely needs it and she's in the thick of it. But otherwise, you're going to rely mostly on your intelligence and quick hacking your enemies, spreading hacks across multiple enemies, increasing the damage with those, quick hacking as fast as possible and then moving on to the next enemy and just wearing down your enemies from a distance. The idea of using the submachine gun is either when you absolutely need to or you just have to finish somebody off. That's the only real reason to go with the submachine gun at all. Now you'll notice by the time you hit max level, you'll max out at 50, you'll end up with 49 attribute points. And by that point, you'll have a few extra that you can toss around. You could put those in technical abilities, maybe in engineering. This isn't really going to open up a whole lot of other things. The other option would be to put it into body and go athletics and carry a little bit more, regen some health, increase your health, those kinds of things. This character is very much a glass cannon and is basically a Techno Mage when it comes down to it. It's somebody who can hit things from a distance, who doesn't rely on getting involved physically with her enemies unless she absolutely needs to. And if you do this correctly, you can get in and out of a place without actually taking any damage at all. So that's what we've got going for Sombra. I hope you guys enjoyed this build. I hope this gives you some more ideas for things that you can build out. And if you're interested in more of these and making sure that you don't miss out on these builds, then subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, turn on notifications, and follow the playlist. Check out the playlist for the other builds. I did a recent one of Judge Dredd as a gunslinger. So go check that out. All right, we'll see you next time.